Hey everyone, welcome to Logan's Mosh Pit. Glad to have you here. Do me a favor and please subscribe if you haven't already. Welcome to another episode of the Setlist Snubs series. In this series, I'm going to talk about a few songs from different bands that don't get played live very much. However, I'm going to give you some reasons why I feel like those underrated songs actually deserve to get played live more often than they do. If there's someone specific you guys want me to talk about in a future episode of this series, please leave a comment down below. I'll check your feedback. Today we're going to reel in a few deep cuts from the hair metal architects called Poison. A hot spot for ridicule. While I agree that Poison has assimilated a cheesy reputation, it doesn't deter me in the slightest from partaking in their music. It simply matches their identity. I feel like a lot of the hate directed toward Poison is unmerited. I prefer branding this band as a weekend type of band. Someone you can depend on when your main objective is to have fun. I remember my high school psychology teacher facilitated my keenness for Poison. He regularly switched on their songs to motivate us before class began. That helped establish a positive mood. My view hasn't changed since then. I've come to terms with Poison's style. I'm willing to stand up for them when people label them as a hindrance. I'm not on board with the hate, and I never will be. Now, as always, purely to aid new viewers, I want to remind you why all bands, not just Poison, proudly show off certain songs live and leave others to collect dust. If you've watched a Setlist Snubs episode before, you know what to do. Just skip ahead a few minutes. The first reason is casual fans dwell exclusively within the biggest hits realm. For Poison, this translates to Nothing But a Good Time, Fallen Angel, and Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Songs Poison fans have heard a million times. Well, for casual fans, nothing else compares to the exhilaration brought about by an elite group of songs. Reason 2 reveals boundless pressure collected from fans and even fellow band members, essentially forces various bands to adhere to their most popular tunes during concerts in order to please the crowd. If fans seem jubilant about the set list, then the odds of them buying tickets to a future show becomes much more tangible. The next reason coincides with tracks taken from commonly belittled albums such as Native Tongue, in Poison's case, because that album lacked CC DeVille. CC stands for Chevy Corvette, FYI. Those tracks face extreme difficulty appearing live since a lot of fans would not offer them a warm welcome. Another reason would be now and then a band presents a hostile attitude toward a song they created. After relying on it repeatedly, they start viewing that particular piece as troublesome. So they purposely prevent themselves from adding it to the set list. Reason number 5 is all about the differences between casual fans and hardcore fans. Casual fans represent a significantly higher quantity versus hardcore counterparts. Subsequently, casual fans carry more weight with their voice and usually end up deciding which songs get treated fairly. The final reason is, unfortunately, certain songs are unable to adapt to concert parameters, held back by technological breakthroughs only available at studios. These songs fall flat when they realize the limited amount of technology marvels they have to work with on tour. With those reasons out of the way, let's shift gears to life-changing stats I encountered on Setlist.fm. I'll put a link to Setlist.fm in the description. To discover Setlist.fm, all you have to do is go to your good friend Google, type in a band plus tour statistics, and tap on the top result. From there, you'll experience a musicolic's paradise, seeing mountains of information spanning songs, albums, and tours. According to Setlist.fm, Poison officially entered the touring picture in 1984. The cream of the crop for live Poison performances just so happens to be Talk Dirty to Me, bringing home a healthy 558 medals. To gain a clearer understanding of what this number means, imagine you listen to Talk Dirty to Me 558 times in a row, non-stop, back-to-back, no breaks allowed. After you finished, you would notice that 124,992 seconds skated by, or basically 1.4 days. Now that we've tackled poison-related stats, the time has finally come to indulge in my list of 5 underappreciated Poison tunes, each from a different album. Of course, you're welcome to leave your own picks in the comments section. I'll also place a link to all 5 songs we're going to discuss in the description too. What better place to start than Love on the Rocks, located on the Open Up and Say Ah album. Love on the Rocks has accompanied Poison on the road approximately 125 times. 22% when stacked up against The King, Talk Dirty to Me. 22% doesn't sound horrible. 1 out of 5 shows, but let me tell you, the last time Love on the Rocks actually showed up at a concert was in 2001. 19 years ago. I want it back. Anyway, Love on the Rocks treats listeners to turbulent guitar delights dished out by C.C. DeVille, biting vocals courtesy of Bret Michaels, and Ricky Rocket going crazy on drums. Plus the sheer dexterity once Poison catapults into the solo portion left me speechless. I hope that this all-around champion Love on the Rocks will sooner or later reclaim its rightful place on the stage. Next, Blame It On You touches down from Look What the Cat Dragged In. A pitiful 7 attendance record remains attached to this one. Blame It On You clocks in at 2 minutes and 33 seconds total, the briefest track on Poison's debut album. If you blink, you might miss it. Still, I don't think any less of it. During my fleeting encounter with this tumultuous tune, I found myself rather impressed. It's an extremely blazing tune, something that zips through any attempts to contain it. I mean, the chorus manifests at the 20-second mark, which is practically unheard of. Firing on all cylinders, this mega catchy jingle far surpasses filler content, if you ask me. You'll immediately want to replay Blame It On You. After Blame It On You, the curtain opens for a momentous star titled Theater of the Soul. It originated on the mostly frowned upon native tongue. Theater of the Soul owns merely 2 live appearances to its name. Regardless, I consider it my favorite, hands down. No offense, CC, I still love you. For some reason, Theater of the Soul reminds me of Guns N' Roses' Patience. Anyway, it's one of the deepest Poison songs out there, both from a lyrical and melodic standpoint. Once in a while, Bret Michaels' voice rose, but for the most part, it chugged along at a leisurely pace. Theater of the Soul struck me as a song that would shatter into pieces if you got too close. Very moving for sure. Gave me the impression that it truly came from the heart. For Poison fans, perhaps this wonderful track embodies the most emotionally taxed version of them. It's a blessing to be a part of. Valley of Lost Souls, belonging to Flesh and Blood, scoots in as my 4th pick. You may do a double take upon learning Valley of Lost Souls has only been featured at 2 shows in 30 years. It almost emerged victorious over Theater of the Soul. It was an incredibly tight race. Trust me, Valley of Lost Souls demands an immense volume. Probably one of those songs your neighbors will yell at you to turn down. One can easily perceive the gargantuan power rolling off this heavy hitter. I believe Valley of Lost Souls would make an excellent alarm tone or ringtone because it gets your blood pumping, provides extra motivation, and causes you to feel confident you can take on the world. Overall, just a dynamite track marred by untapped potential. Finally, I'll send us off with Tragically Unhip, which comes from Crack a Smile. Welcome back, CC. Poison seems to think Tragically Unhip is tragically unequipped to bring along, because to this day it drags a goose egg behind it. Honestly, Tragically Unhip is kind of tough to describe. A whole nother can of worms, if you know what I mean. It has bizarre vibes, yet the distinctly Poison-flavored appeal manages to stay intact. The lead singer spouts countless reasons why he doesn't fit in with norms instilled throughout mainstream society, why he's an outcast. Lyrics enforcing that be you message, stop caring what other people think about you. Tragically Unhip was pretty amusing if nothing else, and it will come in handy when you need a silly song to take your mind off something. Well, that's all I have for you guys. That does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Until then, rock on.